Hi everyone, so I'm going to use the spooky cat Stampin' Up stamp set from a few years ago, as well as the cat punch, and I've got a couple of inks that are Stampin' Up in Gorgeous Grape and Granny Apple Green. I've also got some pieces of cardstock in the same colours as well as Mango Melody, and I will also be using a Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distress ink and also an old school Martha Stewart drippy goo punch. I love that thing. So here I'm just punching out the cats in a few colours, a few of the colours, and I've got a black panel which measures 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm just arranging the cats on there so that they just kind of create a background. I did have this thought that I would use what's it called, the ultra thick embossing powder over the top to get, and that way it would sort of, you can get it to crack as well, and I thought that'd be kind of funny for like a Halloween thing, but I didn't do that in the end. But you could totally do that, and also you could also use this all year round. So you could use it, you could use flowers instead of cats. You could use in fact, the cats could be a non-Halloween themed card easily. You could use hearts for Valentine's Day, flowers for Mother's Day. You could just do circles or stripes or whatever. It's just creating a background of colours. And I thought these colours work really well for Halloween, which is kind of weird because they're in the Brights collection on for Stampin' Up. So who'd have thought? But I think the Mango Melody works really, really well. So I'm just arranging them on there, and then I'm going to trim the edges so that they're all, so it makes one panel. And the fact that I've gone over the edge makes it look more of a piece of pattern paper rather than not, if that makes sense. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. And then there's a few of the extra bits that I cut off that I'm going to use to actually fill in some of the gaps. So don't get rid of them until you're happy with your panel. And you'll see here I'm just going to add one more to that top corner. I think that was the only space I could really find to, you know, to add what I had left, and then just trim it off again. So I'm just figuring out whether I need the other pieces, but obviously I didn't. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my stamping of my sentiment. So this stamp comes from that Spooky Cat stamp set. So if you have that from a few years ago from Stampin' Up, then it's a great stamp set. I just haven't used it as much, which I think is why I dragged it out. And then I'm also going to use the drippy goo punch to just to add something different to it. So going in with the two colours, so my purple and my green. And then I looked at it and thought I couldn't work out where to put it on the card. You know, I just thought it covered up too much of the background, and I was trying to work it out. And sometimes you do that. You just have to figure out, you know, make it work for what you want. And also putting some distress ink around the outside is just, for me, makes a card look so different. The other way would have been fine. It would have been like that simple, neat, clean, lined kind of thing. But I honestly love distressing stuff. And if I can distress everything, I probably would. So, so I'm just inking the edges of the card, the edge of the base. And then you'll see with the little what I then change for the sentiment, I also ink that. So I'm just going to, you know, make the sentiment a little bit smaller because I just didn't fit. It just didn't work the way it was in that long panel. So I'm just going over that with some distress ink as well, just to make it work. And if things don't line up in this video, by the way, like if I'm talking and I'm a little bit behind or something like that, yeah, don't stress. My PC's just playing up, so yeah, apologies if things don't quite line up. We'll see how this turns out. I might have to go back to music until I can sort that out, but it's driving me mad. Anyway, so I'm going to get the I actually decided to round the corners. I thought that made the sentiment look more like a, you know, like a, I don't know, like a label on a vintage bottle or something. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of more label than topper. I don't know. I just thought it worked better. So I'm going to pop that on, and that's basically the card, guys. So if you've stuck through this strange video, then please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That lets YouTube know that you want to see more from me, and it also lets me know that you like what you see. And I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye!